Start. I wholeheartedly welcome you all. So today's topic is cell, the fundamental unit of life, and these are the outlines. Cell, the cell theory. That is the outline. We are going to study its timeline. And then the cell theory. Then uni and multicellular organisms. Then size of cell, shape of cell, structure of cell, animal cell, plant cell, bacterial cell and its organelles. So at the beginning, I'll just start up with my one of the simple quote that is, everybody is genius, but according to their uniqueness and their capabilities. Here the famous poet says that, but if we judge the fish to climb on the tree, it cannot climb because it only survives in the water. And if we judge on its ability, it cannot climb the tree. Are you clear with my idea what I'm going to say? Just I get in chat box, shall I get a yes on this? Okay, thank you. So what is cell? I want from your side answers. What is a cell?
Group of living things.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Then from other audience like Noordeep Kaur, Javeria Ahmed, Suresh, and what is this? 360 degrees. Okay, it's okay. Cell. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organisms. In other words, cell make up living things and carry out activities that keep a cell live. That is cell. As we all know, we are made up of cells. Am I right? Cell is a very tiny and which can be observed under microscope. It is a micro unit, which is measured within micro unit. Then the timeline. The cell was discovered by Robert Hooke from plant dead tissue that is cork, which appeared to be in a hexagonal shape. He called it as a cellula because it is believed that Buddhist monks used to live in this in a room that is in a hexagonal shape. So he called it a cellula. When he observed it under a microscope, he had a very famous microscope, like his own microscope it was. Then in 1674, Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he observed live cells that he took a sample from the pond and observed the water within the microscope. He also had his own microscope. He observed within it and he was the first scientist who saw live cells, that is living cells. And in 1883, Robert Brown, who discovered the nucleus. He further studied on the both scientists, that Robert Hooke and Anton Leeuwenhoek's discovery. He studied on them, and then he discovered that there is a tiny circular shaped something within the cell, and he called it a nucleus. And in 1835, Flex Durajian, that he discovered fluid content of the cell. He studied further on those scientists. He studied further on the content of the research that was carried from the Robert Brown, and he discovered that within a cell some fluid thing is present, and he discovered that fluid content of the cell, that is plasma membrane. Then Matthews Shildon, he was one of the botanists from Germany. Okay. Matthews Shildon proposed all plants are made up of cells. He was one of the botanists. He took a sample of plant and observed it under microscope. He obtained he got a picture within the microscopic view where he had a circular disc of the plant. He had sliced the plant into a circular disc and he observed it under the microscope. He saw the the plant specimen had circular, small tinies within it. So he came up with a beautiful. He came up with a beautiful idea that the plant is also made up of cells. He was the first scientist who gave that plant are also made up of cells. Then Purkinje named fluid content of the cell as protoplasma. The fluid content of the cell was discovered by Flex, but on his studies, the further continuation was done in 1839, and the fluid content of the cell named as protoplasm by Purkinje. Then in 1839, one more scientist that is from England, that is Theodor Schwann. He took a tissue sample from animal and observed it under the microscope. And he also came up with the idea that all the animal tissue is made up of cells. I hope you guys are getting. Simple as.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Then in 1845, Carl Hierarchy Braun proposed cell is the basic unit of life. That till now the whole thing was studied. And in 1845, one of the scientists called Carl Hierarchy Braun proposed that cell is a basic unit of life because we all are made from cells. So he came with this sentence. Then in 1855, Rudolf Virchow, he just said that if a cell is existing, then it should be come from the pre-existing cell. Pre-existing, that is, we came from our mothers. Like that, cells came from their mother cell. He said this thing, and he became famous because of this. And his name is counted under the cell theory for one of the scientists. He is till date. Then cell theory. Cell theory is just a collection of all this. What I have said till now, the timeline is just a collection. Cell theory is a collection of ideas and conclusions from many different scientists over time that describes cells and how cells operate. Right now, we have studied till now that how cell came, how cell theory was built up from time to time. It went on discovering. Cell was discovered by scientists. One theory says that all living things are made up of one or more cells. Then the second theory tells that all living cells arise from pre-existing cells by division. Who said this thing? Cells come from pre-existing cells. It was said by Rudolf. Then the third theory, the cell is the basic unit of structure and function in all living organisms. That is, cell is the basic unit of structure which imparts structure to the tissue, and cell has its specific functions like RBCs supply blood to whole of the body, and WBCs fight against the antigens that or the foreign particles that invade into the body. Then what is unicellular organism? An unicellular organism is a organism who's having single cell within it. Single cell or organism built from only one cell is called unicellular organism. Now I want the examples of unicellular organism from your sides. Amoeba, okay. Still more. Only one, amoeba.
Protozoa.
Okay, protozoa, E. coli, protista. Okay. From 8th standard, we are studying the examples of unicellular and multicellular organisms. Atoms. Okay. Okay. Some of the famous examples I'll bring out: Euglena, then Paramecium, then yeast. Do you remember? Euglena, Paramecium, yeast are the famous examples of unicellular organisms. Yeah, algae is also. But algae is sometimes considered multicellular also. Okay, multicellular organisms. An organism that is made up of more than one cell is called as multicellular organisms. This organism that is made of more than one cell is called multicellular organism. That is, the organism having more than one, like human beings, we are multicellular organisms. Then again, the examples from your side, I have said human beings. I want multicellular organisms example. Dogs, cats, chicken. Okay. Still more.
Fungi.
Okay. Trees and humans. Okay. So I have collected some examples. Let's see those plants, animals, and fungus. Then the next topic is size of the cells. Cells vary from a very large, that is egg, and to the very tiny, that is a cell. Okay, cells vary from varied size. Most cells are very small and most cells are very large. The cells which are very small are called microscopic, and the cells which are very large are called macroscopic. Okay, then the unit which is used to measure these cells is 1 micrometer. That is 1 divided by 1000 millimeter. Here again your task, which is the very tiniest cell. The tiniest cell. Smallest, I mean. So no one knows, I guess. Is that so? The smallest cell. The smallest cell. Am I clear? Am I audible? Mycoplasma. Yeah, you are right. 360-degree art and craft master. You are right. And the largest, biggest cell.
Ostrich egg.
Okay. Again, the 360-degree art and craft master. You are perfect. That is mycoplasma, the smallest cell, which size is about 0.1 micrometer, and the largest cell is ostrich egg, that is 18 centimeter. Then size of cells in humans. Size of cells in humans. So the smallest cell is a sperm cell, which size is about 5 micrometer, and the largest cell is ovum cell, which is 120 micrometer, and the longest cell is nerve cell, which is 1 meter. Shape of cells. Yeah, when the size of the cells varies, then the shape of the cell must also vary. So we have a varied shape of cells. Some cells like euglena and amoeba can change their shape. As we all know that amoeba usually changes its shape for the movement, locomotion, but most cells have a fixed shape. Will you give me some yeah, sure, I'll provide the PDF later on. Here again your task. I want to know the different types of cells you guys know. I mean, you guys remember or know. I want to know those cells. Skin cells. Okay. Then only one answer. Blood cells, right? Blood cells are also called as muscle cells. Okay. Okay. These are the well-known cells, that is RBC, red blood cells, nerve cells, and WBC cells. Human RBC cells are circular and concave for easy passage through human capillaries. That is, they carry blood, so they are circular in shape and biconcave, so that they pass through human capillaries, which are very thin capillaries. So for the easy passage of these cells, the cells are in circular shape. Then the nerve cells are branched to conduct impulse from one point to another. Then we have WBC, which fights against the foreign bodies and engulfs the microorganisms that enter the body. Then the structure of cells. I have discussed the structure, the microscope into my YouTube videos. you can watch there, but for your knowledge I'm sharing this. The detailed structure of cells have been studied under microscope and electron microscope. We have two different types of microscope, that is compound microscope and electron microscope. Electron microscope are divided into two types, that is SEM and TEM. Under compound microscope we have compound microscope, we have a magnification of around 2000x, and electron microscope has a magnification of around 5000x. We can easily see, observe, and study about the cells under these microscopes. And the electron microscope is also called as ultrastructure electron microscope, where we are going to see more detailed, more informative studies. Some of the research, some of the major and important studies are going through electron microscope itself. But in our colleges like 10th and 12th, we usually use with compound microscope, and some of the very famous research institutes have this electron microscope. When we observe these plant cells and animal cells, those are observed in this way. Leaf cell is in a hexagonal structure, which I said in the beginning itself, that Robert Hooke observed this hexagonal structure and called them as cellula, and the name came cell from this cellula. And the muscle cells are in this form. But the main thing which we can observe, but and most of our teachers tell that the cells usually look in the form of honeybee house structure, that is full of hexagonal structures. Yeah, that is right, because the structure hexagonal appears to be in the microscope in this way. Then the animal cell, let's study about the animal cell. Now again your turn. I want the naming to be given by you. I'll go up with telling this 1, 2, 3 and all. You have to say it. Then the first one is 1. One. This is 1. Nucleus. Then 2. Two.
Golgi bodies.
Okay. 3. 3 I have said already. 4. 4. Am I audible? Plasma membrane. Okay. You are right. Then 5. It's so easy. 5. Mitochondria. 6. 6. Centrioles. Cytoskeleton. 7. I think Sneha, you told 7th one only. 8. 8. Lysosome, dear. 9.
Cytoplasm.
10. 11. Okay, you are correct. You are correct. Jagruti and 360 degrees art and craft. 12. Yes, you're right. Are you guys enjoying it? Or it's just boring? I want answer from your sides. Okay, you're enjoying it. Then the next slide with the plant cell. So here, again your task. 1,
Nucleus.
2, 2. From this, guys, you will get enough of knowledge. By seeing the structure, you will tell, yeah, this is this time. Come on, speak up. No one. Okay, 2 is Golgi bodies, and 3. 3. Hello? Hello? I'm going to call random names now. Um, Sneha. What is 4? Okay. What is 4? What is it? Am I audible now? 4 is ribosome. No, dear, it's lysosome. 5. Prayag. Am I audible? Farhan. सुने आ रहा फिर नहीं आ रहा करेंगे
क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे तो नाम ले लो उसका सोच रहे हो
Okay. What is 5? 6? 6. It's mitochondria. 7. 8. 8. 9.
vacuole
10. Chloroplast. 7 was chloroplast. Yeah, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And 11. Okay, Jagrati, you are correct. Then 12. Lysosome. No. Then we have bacterial cell. Let's study about bacterial cell. Now again your task. I'm not going to leave you guys today. 1. 1. About bacterial cell. Cell wall. How come cell wall in bacterial cell? It's capsula. Then 2 is cell wall. 3. 3. 4. I hope everyone is getting. Ribosome. 4 is ribosome. 5. At least this thing to be remembered. Cyto. No, dear, it's not cytosol, it's cytoplasm. 5. Flagellum. Yes, you are right. 7. Yeah, Jagrati, you are correct. 8. Yeah, Jagrati, you are correct. It's plasmid. 8. Eight. Ribosomes. Who said this one? Yeah, Jagrati, you are correct. 9. Slow it down. 9 is chromosomes. No. Nucleoids. 10. Nine. Yeah, you guys are correct. So let's move ahead. Let's have a break and watch some videos. So let's study about the cell organelles now. Structure of cell. If we study a cell under microscope, we come across 3 features mainly. Those are plasma membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. That is plasma membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Where we have in cytoplasm we have 2 main things. Those are cytosol and cell organelles. In cell organelles, we come across endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, lysosomes, vacuoles, mitochondria, plastids, centrosomes, and cytoskeleton. So the first one, plasma membrane. This is a structure, main how it looks and all. These are the carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. This plasma membrane is extremely delicate, thin, elastic, and semi-permeable membrane, where only selected part of the plasma can move across the plasma membrane. This membrane is made up of 2 layers, 2 lipid layers, and it has a protein attached to it, and the thickness varies from 75 to 110 angstroms. Can be observed under electron microscope. It is only observed under electron microscope, and the main function of this plasma membrane is to maintain size and shape of the cell. As it is the outer cover of the cell, its main function is to protect the shape and the size of the cell. It protects the cell from internal damage and from the external damage. It acts like a barrier. It has its own pH, own water molecular formulae. That is, it has its own temperature. All other factors has its own things. Like pH should not be more alkaline or more acidic. It has its own homeostasis, that is, it should not be bulged. Who is this? It should not be bulged, or it should not swell out, or it should not be shrink, because this is the main thing which protects the cell from the external damage, and it allows partially, that is semi-permeable membrane, which acts as a thin layer around the cell. Then we have cell wall. This is present in plant cell. This is the structure of cell wall. Cell wall has a pectin, cellulose, plasma membrane, and hemicellulose. Non-living and outer covering of the cell. Yeah, this is a non-living and outermost covering layer of the plant and bacterial cell. This is not present in animal cell or human cell. This is a tough, rigid, and flexible. This is made up of cellulose. These are the cellulose, and hemicellulose and pectin. Pectin are the thread-like structure that gives strength to the cell wall. This layer may be thin or thick. It depends totally on the plant structure, and it is a multi-layer structure. The thickness varies from 50 to 1000 angstroms. This provides definite shape, strength, and rigidity to the plant and bacterial cells. Prevents drying of the cell, helps in controlling cell expansion. As its outermost cover, it helps the cell to expand to its limit and protects the cell from external damage or from attack of pathogens. Then we have nucleus. Nucleus is the innermost part of the cell. It appears in the spherical and located at the center of the cell. It has a diameter of 10 to 25 micrometer. Well developed in plant and animal cell. We have not seen in bacterial cell till date. This nucleus is a circular in shape, which has a diameter of 10 to 25 micrometer. It is undeveloped in bacteria and blue-green algae, that is cyanobacteria. Most of the cells are uninucleated. Uni means single nucleus. Most of the cells has single nucleus. Only few has more than one nucleus. Then nucleus. Nucleus is a double layered covering where the outer cover is called nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane has a pore like Swiss cheese. Have you seen like that? This nucleus will be this nucleus will be containing the hole within it. Hole. Its diameter is about 80 to 100 nanometer. It's colorless, dense sap present inside the nucleus called nucleoplasm. This is present in the nucleus, here inside of the nucleus. It has a fibers which is called DNA. DNA is deoxynucleic acid, and protein histones. Histones are a small circular fibers that are attached to this DNA. It helps in the package of DNA. These fibers condense to form chromosomes during cell division. These fibrous fibrous or condensed form of these are chromosomes, which helps during cell division. We'll study cell division part later. In that, I will explain you how the cell division occurs, what all happens with the chromosome, and how the process takes place. Then we have nucleus. Till now we have studied about nucleus itself, but still more details. These are the genes. DNA has its own genes. We all know it. We have three, namely nucleotides, that are adenine, cytosine, thymine, and guanine. These are the histones. Histones are globular, circular, globular, which helps in the condensing the chromosomes. Chromosome is nothing but a thread-like long elongated structure where the histones bind together and form it into a specific structure. Chromosome contains stretch of DNA called genes. Yeah, right now I said it has genes. Genes transfer the hereditary information from one generation to the next. Yeah, from our parents we have got the hereditary some of the features like our color, some other features like color or talking style. Many other internal features also we have, but those are come from our parents itself. Then the function is to control cell activity like metabolism, protein synthesis, growth, and cell division. Then nucleolus synthesis nucleic acid. Nucleolus synthesize nucleic acid, RNA, to contribute ribosomes. store hereditary information in genes. In these genes, the hereditary information that is coming from the parent is stored in the form of genes, and those are passed on to the next generation. Then we have cytoplasm, jelly-like material formed by 80% of water. Yeah, this is jelly-like thing that is present within the cell, which is 80% water, present between plasma membrane and the nucleus. In between plasma membrane and the nucleus, contains a nuclear liquid portion called cytosol and various particles. It contains clear liquid portion called cytosol, which is all clear liquid portion which where we can see the clear objectives, that is cytosol and other particles. These particles may be protein, carbohydrate, nucleic acid, lipids, and inorganic ions. It also contains organelles such as mitochondria, vacuoles, centrioles, lysosome, other things, and granules and dense in animal cells and thin in cells. Only granules and dense material are found in animals, not in plant cells. Then endoplasmic reticulum. This is called rough ER because it has a ribosome factories within it which produces ribosomes, and this is a smooth ER because the structure is very smooth, so they called it a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And this structure is rough because those have protein factories called protein factories, and it generates ribosomes and it creates ribosomes, so they are in this rough structure. These are interconnected with one another. Have you ever seen that smooth ER is present somewhere and rough ER is present somewhere? No, these two are combined with each other. They are interconnected with each other, but they are separated in the form by their form in their structure because they look roughly granular structure present on the rough ER, and smooth looks smooth. As I said, smooth lacks ribosomes and rough is studied with ribosomes. It helps in the function which gives internal support to the cytoplasm. Rough ER synthesizes proteins and membrane proteins and ribosomes, and smooth ER helps in the synthesis of lipids for cell membrane. In liver cells, smooth endoplasmic reticulum detoxify drugs and poisons, and in a muscle cell, smooth ER stores calcium ions. Then we have Golgi bodies. Golgi bodies, we have cristae. This is a cis phase because the phase of the Golgi body is over that side, and this is trans phase. Incoming transport vehicle. These granular or circular shapes are the incoming vehicles which come into the Golgi bodies, get energized and move apart. This was discovered by Camillo Golgi, so the name came Golgi. Formed by stacks of 5 to 8 membranous sacs. These are formed by 5 to 8 sacs. Sac is nothing but a bag-like structure. This is a bag-like or purse-like structure, so they called it a sac-like structure, which has 5 to 8. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that, we may have 5 or 8. Sacs are usually flattened. They are flat, so they called it cristae. It has two ends, cis phase, situated near the endoplasmic reticulum. Yeah, so I say cis phase, which has a facing over that side called, which is near endoplasmic reticulum, and trans near the cell membrane. And the function is to modify, sort, and pack materials synthesized in the cell. This functions like packers, which sort default things and packs the good material within the cell. Delivers synthesized material to various targets inside the cell. Delivery work is also done by these Golgi bodies. Then produces vacuoles and secretory vehicles. Vehicles also it produces. Form plasma membrane and lysosomes. Then lysosomes, yeah. Small spherical single membrane sac found throughout the cytoplasm. This is a small spherical single membrane sac. Sac is nothing but a bag. It looks like sac or bag like structure, so they called it sac. Found throughout the cytoplasm. These are small spherical, so we'll find it here and there in the cell. Within the cell, that is cytoplasm, filled with hydrolyzed enzymes. Lysozymes are also called as Am I audible? Am I audible? Okay. Lysozymes. This has hydrolytic enzymes which hydrolyze the unnecessary unwanted things within the cell. Functions like help in digesting of large molecules which are not necessary within the cell. It digests and protects cell by destroying foreign invaders like bacteria and viruses. When our cell get attacked by bacteria and viruses, the lysosome fights against it and protects the cell from those bacteria and viruses. Degrades worn out organelles. Like worn out is unnecessary, unwanted, or dead and decayed. Any other cell organelles may get died due to internal injuries. Those are ingested by lysozymes. Am I audible? Vacuoles. Vacuoles are the large portion which stores water. Hello? Hello? Which stores water, sugar, and ions. In animal cells, we have temporary small in size and few in number vacuoles. But in plant cell, we see a large vacuole within the plant cell which contains water, sugar, and ions. For the plant cells requirement, it uses and stores within it. Maybe contractile or non-contractile. It may be contractile. It may contract or it may not contract sometimes. Functions in storage of water, and it also stores unwanted, unnecessary waste products within the cell. Yeah, vacuole also stores. But main importantly, this vacuole is present in plant cell. मेरा नेटवर्क उड़ गया क्या?
Yeah.
Lost your connection. Try again. Sorry for the disturbance. I had a network issue over here. So let's begin. Vacuoles, these are present in the plant. Most time these vacuoles are present only in plants. In animals, only few times these are visible, but are temporary. These are small in size and for few in number. But in plant cell, we see these vacuoles into a large and more number. This size is very large in plant cells. It helps in the functions. It functions like it stores various substances like waste products, maintain osmotic pressure of the cell, store food material in amoeba cell, provide rigidity and turbidity to the plant cell. Then we have mitochondria. It is also called as energy factor of the cell, where the ATP is generated. This is a mitochondrial structure which has matrix, cristae, outer membrane, inner membrane. It has its own unit DNA and ribosomes. This is a small rod-shaped organelle bound to two membrane, that is inner and outer membrane. Outer membrane is a smooth, encloses the contents of the inner membrane. This is just the outer covering. Within the outer covering we have inner covering, where in inner covering it has its own folding like structure, form of shelf like inward projections. These inward projections are called cristae. Inner cavity is filled with matrices called with many enzymes, contains their own DNA. Yeah, as I told earlier, mitochondria has its own DNA, unit DNA for enzymatic actions, and this functions as a producer of energy for the whole cell, which synthesize energy rich compound called ATP. ATP molecule provide energy to the vital activities like living cells. This is called powerhouse of cell. Then we have plastids. Plastids are double membrane bound organelles found inside plants and some algae. These are only found within the plants and algae. They are responsible for activities related to making and storing food. They often contain different types of pigments that can change the color of the cell. Yeah, these are responsible for the change in colors. Like we have orange, which is orange in color. We have apples, which usually has red color, and the pears have green color. Plastids are the main reason for the color which imparts to the fruits, vegetables, and other living things. Plastids are only found in plants, not in animals. In plastids, we have mainly three classes. Those are chromoplast, chloroplast, and leucoplast. Leucoplast has alicoplast, amyloplast, and proteoplast. Let's see chromoplast. Chromoplast are plastids that produces and used as a storage which imparts color to the fruits, vegetables. They are responsible for different color found in leaves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. Yeah, chromoplast imparts color. That is, carrot has carotene, orange color, carotene color. Mango, those have pigment called xanthophyll, those are yellow. And tomato has lycopene. Then leucoplast. Leucoplasts are colorless plastids that are mainly used for the storage of food. They are found in the storage organs such as fruits, tubers, and seeds. Tomato tuber. Tomato is a tuber and which stores food starch within it. It stores the starch as a food within it. And maize. Maize is a grains which stores protein. And castor oil, which stores oil. Castor seeds. We usually call it castor oil, which stores oil within it. Then we have chloroplast. The chloroplast is embedded within the leaf structure. It has thylakoids, granum, stroma, outer covering, and inner covering. Double membrane bound organelle is found mainly in plant cells, usually spherical and disc-like in shape. Spherical and disc-like shape they have. Grana are stacks of thylakoids. Thylakoids has a grana which are disc-like shape, membrane bound and flattened. Thylakoid contain chlorophyll molecule which are responsible for photosynthesis. Due to thylakoids, the photosynthesis occurs within the plant. Stroma is a colorless dense fluid. Like in animal cell, we have cytoplasm. In plants, we have this stroma. Convert light energy into chemical energy in the form of energy. This helps the plants to convert light energy into chemical energy to produce food. Provides green color to leaves. Yes, this chloroplast provides green color to the leaves, stems, and vegetables. Then we have centrioles. Centrioles are centrosome. Centrosome has centrosome matrix, microtubules, and centrioles. Centrosome is a membrane-bound organelle present near the nucleus. Yes, these centrosomes, during cell division, it helps the cell to move from one place to another. That is, from our general knowledge, we can say that we have in cell division we have mitosis and meiosis. In mitosis, let's see, we have prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. During the moment of this cell division, these centrioles are in anaphase. These centrioles attract the chromosomes near the poles. Okay, consist of two structure called centrioles. These have two structure. Those are in this. One is this and one is this. Centrioles are arranged at the right angle to each other. Yeah, they are arranged to right angle. Form spindle fibers which help in the movement of chromosome during cell division. As I said right now, help in the formation of cilia and flagellae. Cytoskeleton formed by microtubules and microfilaments. Microtubules are hollow tubules made up of protein called tubulin. Sorry. Microtubules are tube-like structure. Those are hollow within. And microfilaments are filamentous, which has a rod-like shape. Those are extending from one to another. These has proteins called actin. Their function is to determine the shape of the cell, give structural strength to the cell, and responsible for cellular movements. Then the difference between animal cell and plant cell. Generally, animal cell is smaller and plant cell is larger. Cell wall is absent in animal cell and cell wall is present in plant cell. Plastids are absent in animal cell. Plastids are present in plant cell. Vacuoles are small. Vacuoles are generally large in plants because they store water, and they are many in number. These are less in number. Centrioles are present. Here centrioles are absent. And thank you, but wait a minute. Make yourself utilized.